A brasstax presentation. Discretion advised.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the brasstax experience. It's your boy, brasstax, baby. You already know, or maybe some of you don't, because judging from my analytics, it seems that a lot of people who watch my content don't subscribe to my content, which befuddles me, to be honest. Okay, click the ding 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 notification so you get up to date with all the latest content, and also subscribe to your boy. This is some good politically correct content. This is gonna be fun. Let's talk about the movie, but before I say anything, I want to make one thing really clear. My opinions on the feminist movement is that I'm all for it, I support it, I love it. However, there is the feminist movement, and then there is the feminist brand. The feminist brand, I'm not a fan of so much. Because what the brand does is it pushes feminism by knocking the other gender down. And that's something you accused men of doing for years, and here you are doing the same thing. It's a little bit hypocritical if you ask me, and I'm not really a fan of that. Now, this movie made $7 million its opening weekend. Ironically, the same amount of money it took to make The Invisible Man, which I've just finished watching in the theatre. I highly recommend you go see that movie, it's amazing. Seriously, nice surprise. Go watch it. But yeah, $7 million. Elizabeth Banks, the director of Charlie's Angels, will have you believe that the reason it did so poorly is because men do not support women or any of their movies, etc. She may have not said it in those words verbatim, but that's what she implied. Guess what? Now, I know this may be a shock to some ultra-feminists out there, but men love women. We love women as CIA agents. We love women as assassins. We love women as soldiers. We love women as superheroes. We love women as Tomb Raiders. We love women. It goes on and on and on. The reason your movie didn't do that well is twofold. Number one, no one gave a shit about a Charlie's Angels movie. No one asked for it. No one requested it. No one even thought about it. Secondly, and this is the more important part of this, the movie really isn't that good. And to be honest, it's forgettable as hell. It's a very bland movie, it's very dull. The action sequences start off as terrible, almost look slightly slow motion, because I think they've got the actresses doing their own stunts, which is fair enough. Yeah, it gets better as it goes on. There's a great car chase, and it does get better, but that's not really saying much, is it? Now, I will say, I gave Kristen Stewart a hard time because I didn't really rate her as an actress, and I stand corrected, because she's actually pretty good in this. The characters are pretty good in this. The problem is the film is shitty. I tell you what though, I ain't gonna lie to you. I am a little bit in love with Ella Balinska. God damn, she is stunning. I love her. A1. You know, the irony is not lost on me here. Miss Elizabeth Banks, the director, wants you to watch this movie to support the actresses and doesn't really want them to be seen in a sexual way. Guess what? This movie is so trash that the only reason to watch this is to watch those three hotties doing their thing. That's the irony is not lost on me, I ain't gonna lie to you. Sorry guys, this movie isn't even garbage. It's garbage. That's the new word, can't even say garbage to this movie. There was one standout in this movie, but for totally different reasons. And that's Jonathan Tucker. He plays like a henchman who's trying to kill the angels, right? And he's got a very T-1000 vibe about him, to the point that if they do another Terminator movie, he needs to be in it, because he's got all the characteristics of the guy who played the T-1000. Very, very cool, and I did like him. He was an absolute badass, 100%. And that's my thoughts on the movie. The original Charlie's Angels with Cameron Diaz was much better, 1 and 2. So let's get to the tech specs of this 4K release. Shot in 3.4K and 8K. Now, this is a little bit weird because Bluray.com's saying it's a 4K DI and IMDb is saying it's a 2K DI. So pick your poison. You got the black bars and it's IMAX enhanced, which doesn't really mean much unless you got an IMAX enhanced Sony Bravia. A DtsX audio track and just shy of 2 hours at 118 minutes. It's a 66 gig disc and it's out on March 10th. And just because people want to know, subtitles come in English, French and Spanish. This is a Sony release. guess what? Now, irrespective of the movie itself, this transfer is an absolute stunner. All three angels look angelic with the 4K detail. It's a hell of a disc. Clothing, pores, details, textures, and buildings all look stellar, providing detail and visuals that only 4K can deliver. This blows the 1080p disc right out of the water. Another thing which is fantastic is the three-dimensional pop in this. There is a great 3D-ish image that separates depth between characters very well and offers another layer of immersion. You feel like Charlie's Angels are sitting in the room with you sometimes, and I'm telling you, that's never a bad thing. It's a very digitally clean image, and there really is a lot to love on this disc. But hey, come closer. You want to know what the HDR is like? Well, basically, you're the new Charlie, and these three are your angels, and they've grown to love you and respect you. In between missions, you and the girls are often having a laugh and having a drink, and there's some harmless flirting going on. However, it's your birthday, and they know this, and they decide to give you a little show. It's all about Charlie's Angels in latex. You got fluorescent pink, glowing green, and ravishing red. Illuminous latex doing dances for you. One thing turns to another and, well, you already know. Charlie, they may look like angels, but they got them horns holding that halo up. Bars. That's what the HDR is like. This is a nice, bright, vibrant disc from start to finish. Black levels are also superb. Superb, no crush here, and you're seeing details in nighttime shots that you're not going to pick up on the 1080p 100%. An overall very vibrant image, the colors pop. There's a scene in the nightclub where those three girls are dressed up. God damn. That's what I'm going to say. God, you know what? I'm going to take a lot back. It might just be worth picking this disc up for certain scenes, I ain't going to lie to you. Oh, she can get it. She can get. Oh my gosh. A1. Clearly a wider colour at display here. There's a scene at the horse races where colours look glorious. Glorious, I tell you, glorious green, different shades of green, nuance in the colours, great colour depth, a much wider colour palette than you're seeing on the 1080p. Even some of the textures and some of the embroidery on some of the shirts these girls are wearing are more pronounced, more vibrant. Overall, it's a great HDR picture. In some cases, panty dropping. Now, if the panties do drop on this kind of disc, does that technically make your girl a lesbian? Shit, it's a win-win either way. Great HDR on this release, and if for some strange reason the high dynamic range doesn't get the panties dropping, you tell your girl to sit on a woofer and see what happens. I'm gonna change the name of DtsX to DTS Sexy, baby, cause this sound is sexy, it's nasty. Very bassy, sound is great in the middle, a great surround sound. When action kicks off, there is some overhead that you are gonna notice. 100%. Dialogue is crisp and it's clear, and the gunshots and the explosions pack one hell of a punch. Earth shaking in some cases. I was very, very impressed with this. It's not a reference DTS track, but it's very, very good, very impressive. There's always a lot going on in this movie, whether it's subtleties in the background or in the foreground, you're all gonna hear it around you. There's not as much overhead as you would think, but I don't think it's really that necessary. It kicks in when it needs to kick in, and your girl's gonna be sitting on the woofer with her booty cheeks clapping like a standing ovation in this bitch. Great audio, fantastic visuals. And there we have it, people. Now, as a movie, I would say wait till it's heavily discounted, but if you're looking for a showcase, this is one gorgeous transfer. Now, people, you know what I feel about the movie. I didn't particularly like it, but that's not to say you won't. Okay, remember, reviews are subjective, so you may want to give it a try. Maybe you will like it. I don't know. That's my opinion on the movie is my opinion on the movie. The sound is at 8.5 with me, and the visuals is a reference quality transfer. This is a gorgeous disc, like I said. Amazing detail throughout. So it's up to you whether you want to pick it up. If you do want to pick it up, I'm gonna leave some Amazon links. If you go through them, it costs you nothing extra, but Amazon kick a little something back for your boy. And if you want to wait and pick it up when it's discounted, that's totally up to you. And another thing, guys, I have a Facebook page, right? And on that Facebook page, I put up the discs, yeah, but more importantly, I put up 4K screenshots of the movies before I review them. So you should definitely check them out. I'll leave a link below as well, and give the page a like so you can stay updated with all the latest going on with me as well. And that is it, guys. Subscribe if you haven't already. 4K Rockstar. You already know.